I was actually really nervous to start off with. Haven't been able to find too much form of late, so it's just really nice to be able to get out there and, yeah, started off a bit slow but relaxed into it and then started playing really well.
I spoke to you before we got on air about who you've got next, and you didn't know. You've got the round robin draw, but is that something you just don't even think about, what's coming up next?
Yeah, I just try to take it match by match, even point by point, and not try and look too far ahead. Yeah, you've got to pretty much win every match in your pool to go through, so I'm just taking it each match, and I either play Storm or Bojana Babusic, so we'll see. I think they're still out there at the moment, and I've played Bojana before, but not Storm, so either match will be tough.
Great work, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Nice work, Adrian. Thank you for that. A strong win for Sally Pearce. After a slow start, she was too loved down in that opening set, but got her game going, and well, the women's match is starting to wind down, but I can tell you the men's matches continue. This is first round action coming up next on our feature court. Luke Saville taking on Chris O'Connell. So plenty to look forward to, but the first day of the World Cup life off to a great start.
Off to a really great start. So lucky with the weather. It was the most immaculate day from the minute the sun rose today in Melbourne, wasn't it, Pete? And great to see Sally there. Just a little bit of a confidence booster for her. She said she hasn't been in the best form this season after a really, really big 2010. So it'd be great to see her maybe just get a bit of a toehold here and start to build some momentum in the lead up to the Aussie summer.
So plenty to look forward to. Obviously the men's matches. That looks like Chris Guccione, I think, on our monitor there. You're a little bit closer to it, CJ.
Yeah, that is the Gooch. Just
having
like
a bit of a
he's
hit
having
around.
a bit of a hit up.
Well, we're getting set for this next match. First round action. Luke Saville and Chris O'Connell. And it looks like Luke Saville is down courtside with Adrian Franklin.
Luke, it's a bit of a late afternoon match for you. What have you been up to prior to the match today?
I had a bit of a sleep in after the Newcomb medal last night. It was a good night. But no, I've just had a hit around midday and I've just been getting ready and I'm ready to go.
Best of luck.
Cheers, thanks.
As we welcome Chris O'Connell out to the court. Hey Chris, how you going? Yeah, very well. Have you played Luke before?
Yeah, I played him last week actually, and yeah, had a good match. Hopefully I can play well today.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So thank you, Adrian there. Luke Saville and Chris O'Connell getting ready for this match, and there is Chris Guccione on your screen. Getting ready for his match. He's straight through into the second round, and he's got a clash, a matchup with JP Smith.
That'll be interesting. JP, I still feel a little bit kind of rocked by that match. That wasn't how I thought it was going to play out at all. I did think it would be a battle, and I thought it might be 3 sets. And certainly towards the end of the second set, I thought Casey was going to just rally a little bit, hang in there, at least make Barty serve for it. But Barty just played too well.
Yeah, she's very impressive on court, super impressive off court. She speaks very well. It's hard to believe she is only 15 years of age, and we don't like to go too early, but there's something to like about Ashley Barty.
Yeah, there really is. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to Craig Tiley speaking about her in the stands, but you know, I think he always has something of value to say about the players, and just, you know, what he had to say about her attitude just to winning Wimbledon, winning any match, and just the way that she treats that. All, you know, everything's the same. She just seems to run on a very, very straight line. Don't see a lot of emotion from her on court, one way or another. There was maybe a little kind of a growl at one stage that she made up this end of the court when she had a ball that Delacroix hit past her. But, you know, no overt celebration when she wins. She's just so kind of calm and composed. And I guess, you know, she says she's an introvert, so maybe it's a product of that, but it seems valuable.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? We saw Sam Groth out on court earlier, and he needs to get pumped up to get the best out of him, and other players go about it in a much different fashion. It's whatever tickles your fancy, so to speak, and gets you going. Now, Luke Saville on screen. We've certainly got to know Luke over the last couple of years. He's been a very impressive junior coming through the ranks. His opponent today is Christopher O'Connell. Now, recently, of course, a semi-finalist at the Optus Under-18 Australian Championships. And obviously only very, very young. He is 15 years of age. And the ranking at, 1733. We don't really look at that at this stage. And
no.
he's only starting out on what hopefully will be a long journey.
Yeah, and the interesting thing I think about this match is that Christopher is the man who beat Saville in the first match of the under-18s, and after that was a round robin format, and Saville obviously kind of steadied himself and got through and eventually took that title. But that was considered a real upset, that victory that O'Connell had over Saville in the first round last week, and credit to Saville to come back and take that title. But some interesting kind of mind games going on in this match as well.
First round match, best of 3 tiebreak sets.
So we're just about to get
chair
underway.
from South Australia, Luke Saville.
And beautiful sunshine still.
To the left of the chair from New South Wales,
here at Melbourne
Chris O'Connell.
Park. Top of 25 today. Going to get a bit warmer as the week.
Saville won the toss.
Does
Goes to serve.
Yeah, we're very lucky with the weather so far.
Of course, you can communicate with us right throughout the afternoon. Hashtag AO Playoff. Keep your tweets coming through. Charlotte's all over those. We'll certainly read out as many as we can. If you're in the vicinity of Melbourne Park, why not pop down for a couple of hours this afternoon? Still some great matches going on. It is free of charge right throughout the course of the week. We are here till Sunday.
So a bit of Twitter reaction to Barty beating Delacroix. A lot of congratulations. A couple of people quite shocked by that result. Probably one of them.
So Luke Saville to
Ready
open
for play.
proceedings.
Sets. Luke Saville to serve.
Looped
Love,
that
15.
a little bit wide on that occasion. Earlier today, Dane Propoggia, JP Smith, Gavin Van Pepperziel, Isaac Frost, Sam Groth, Nicholas Kyrgios of the ACT, all through on the men's side. Knockout format. Once again,
Love 30.
the error coming off the Saville racket. As we just saw, Ashley Barty through. Sally Pearce we just heard from. Number 4 seed, she is through. Well, it's a round robin format, of course, but always you like to win your first match.
Sally looking to really build up some confidence and momentum, I think, this week at this event.
Out 15, 30. Outs 15, 40.
So a chance here for Christopher O'Connell. A couple of break points, Charlotte, early, so he's just sprayed a couple Saville.
Thirty, 40.
And makes an error of his own, so
I tell you what, though, I like his backhand.
it's good, isn't it?
Woohoo!
Fluid.
Like that.
Nice style. Is there anything better to watch in tennis than just a beautifully crafted?
Single-handed backhand is so beautiful and increasingly rare.
Oh, and he's
Yeah.
made it.
O'Connell.
And he's got break in the opening game.
First game.
I
against
think
the
I'm
more
in
highly
love
fancied
with
Luke
that
Saville.
boy's backhand.
That was beautifully executed cross court.
So lovely.
Christopher O'Connell, who, as Charlotte mentioned, was able to defeat Luke Saville recently in the under-18 championships. As the players change ends, has got off to the perfect start.
He has, and if he's, Can pull that backhand out of the bag every so often. You can understand really how he made such an impression on Luke last week. That is stunning.
Chris O'Connell to serve.
You are watching the Australian Open Wildcard Playoff. Streaming live here on tennis.com.au and also on YouTube. The opening day. And that's a great lob from Luke Saville, scrambling at the back of the court.
Love, 15. All. $15, $30.
So Connell serving here. He was breaking Saville's serve in the opening game. Charlotte James has stepped out of our commentary box. Brent Larkham has stepped in. As we watch this rally unfold.
Outs.
Oh, just long.
30 all.
G'day Brent, how you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, good to see you. What have you made of the opening day?
Wow, what a start from Barty last match. It's pretty impressive.
I'll ask you a bit about her in a moment because she certainly has impressed us from afar. Another cracking forehand there from O'Connell.
40, 30.
Just ask you about this young man at the moment. We know about Luke Saville and his credentials, but Christopher O'Connell, he's starting out on the long journey.
Yep, he's from Sydney, and he was a pretty good junior, I think, actually. Same age group as Luke, and he was
O'Connell
really
leads.
good junior.
2 games to love.
12 and unders, 14 and unders, and then he had a couple of injuries, so he's probably been off the radar a little bit. I think it was lower back injuries, stress fracture, I think. But he's been continuing playing his tennis, and he's turned up here at Junior Nationals, had a great win over Luke last week, and started this match pretty well already.
Well, he started beautifully. He's 2-love up, break of serve, he's held his own. And that win, no doubt, will have given him a bit of confidence that he can once again conquer Luke Saville. He's got some work to do in this opening set to get it back on even terms.
I think there's a bit of a history between these two, actually. I think Chris O'Connell's beaten him quite a few times in that younger age bracket. There might have been a bit of psychological advantage there last week in the Junior Nationals. I mean, Luke's ended up winning the tournament last week, which was pretty impressive. But Mr. O'Connell here has stood up and made himself known.
Ow!
15 all.
With that backhand.
Yeah, I think Chris has got one of the better forehands that I've seen in the last few years going around. He had a lot of forehand winners last week. Really good swing shape. Generated a lot of power off that side. Pretty dangerous shot.
And Saville comes up with a great serve out wide. Keen to get some free points at the moment as he tries to work his way back into this first set.
Luke's got his a little bit of confidence up at the moment. He's had a run of results the last couple of months. He picked up his first couple of
40,
ATP
15.
points in Traralgon and Bendigo, recent Australian circuit events. Had a couple of good wins in those tournaments, and that was on the back of winning a couple of junior tournaments in Asia, trying to consolidate his junior ranking at the end of the year, and also won doubles titles in Bendigo and Traralgon with young Victorian boy Andrew Whittington. And the confidence seems from those events, it seems to have rubbed off, and win again last week in 18s nationals. And
Outs game. Saville.
So well done to Saville, able to have a
O'Connell
good service
leads.
game.
2 games to 1.
Our final match here on tennis.com.au and also on YouTube. The opening day of the playoff for 2012. Brent Larkham has joined myself here in the commentary position. The sun is still shining, and plenty of people flocking out to watch the tennis today. We can certainly tell you on the women's side that Sally Pearce is through, 6-2, 6-2. Ashley Barty, as we've mentioned, 6-3, 6-3. We're just checking on a couple of those other matches as well. A very tight third set at last check out on court 8 between Bojana Bobusic of WA and Storm Sanders, also fellow Western Australians. We'll try and get the latest on that one. And the match out on court 7 looks to be a centrepiece.
Time.
I think at this stage, between Stephanie Bengtson of New South Wales and Emmeline Starr, who's the 8th seed. So that is into a third set. We'll keep you updated. Ashley Barty, got all the makings of a terrific player, Brent. She, as Charlotte was just saying, doesn't show a hell of a lot of emotion on court. Very even sort of temperament. Takes it in her stride. But she looks like a young girl who just loves stepping up to the big stage.
Oh, what a start to her for this event, taking on the red-hot favourite in Casey Delacroix, who hasn't been beaten, I don't think, in the last 5 events she's played here in Australia. And she's come out and played some fantastic tennis straight off the bat.
Outs. Love 30.
I think Ashley's actually, I watched a little bit of her at Junior Wimbledon this year where she won the tournament, but looking at her play now, sort of 4 or 5 months later, she's improved again, and she's shown that with that result today.
A very strong lower body. She's powerful legs.
Great athlete and great skills
Outs.
with the hands.
15,
You don't often see that with someone of her age. Just her touch and feel and shot selection, and she's the full package without doubt.
And O'Connell comes
30
up
all.
with a great serve down the tee, so needed that one to get it back to 30 all.
It was a pretty convincing win last week for O'Connell over Saville in their
40-30.
group stage. I think it was 6-2, 6-2. Hopefully Luke's going to step up and make a tougher contest of this one this week.
Outs. Use.
Few opportunities for the some of the younger boys this week here in the first round of the playoff. There's been a couple of them play each other. Nick Kyrgios from Canberra beat Alex Bolt in the first round. Both two boys who were in junior nationals as well last week, as were these two.
Advantage. O'Connell.
Yeah, it's got a different feel to it, the playoff this year. We've obviously seen Ebden and Tomic step up and get direct entry. No Peter Luchak going around, of course. Marenko, Matosevic and Greg Jones are still there, but yeah, a lot of young guys. Great opportunity.
Great opportunity for them. Like it'd be great to see one of these younger boys step up and have a win like Barty's done over Casey this morning. I think the two favourites probably for
3 games to 1.
for the men's event, Marinko, and probably put Chris Guccione as one of the favourites. You know, he's the only guy in the draw who's been a top 100 player. And Gooch was up to 60 in the world, and when Gooch is fit and healthy, you know, he's a pretty decent player.
Yeah, tough to handle with that big serve. I want to ask you about Sam Groth. How did you see him earlier today? He's made a return. He's been off the circuit for a while, as we just watched this point. Long there from O'Connell. Came back, has played a bit of pennant, fronted up at Bendigo, made a semi-final at the Australian Pro Tour event there, and with a serve like that, I mean, they're unplayable balls when he's putting it in the right spot on the first serve.
Just like Chris Guccione, both of them have a very high level on their day, and if they produce it, they're going to be pretty hard to beat. Grothy also won a couple of AMTs here in Australia in the lead up to Bendigo, where he sort of eased his way back into it, like you said, through pennant and then through some AMTs and then back on the circuit in Bendigo. I did watch a couple of his matches in Bendigo. He was playing pretty well, and he lost to the eventual winner, Matt Reid, in the semi-finals. And you know, Grothy's always been one of those guys, if he gets it right on the day, it's pretty scary. And he's been down the other end.
Big man. Big game.
Nuts.
Another forehand error
15, 30.
Saville's racket.
Yep, Luke needs to make sure he holds this game. Well, that's probably the end of the first set. Double break wouldn't be a good situation for Luke.
Oh. 15, 40.
A little bit of trouble here at 15:40. It would be nice to see one of these younger boys step up and have a victory over one of these older guys. Keep the older ones on their toes.
Good depth and
30, 40.
angle there and Saville approach.
Game, O'Connell.
Well constructed point, and he heads to the chair with a very commanding 4-1 lead.
4 games to 1.
In this opening set, upstaging his more highly fancied opponent in Luke Saville, but as we've mentioned, he has got a bit of a history of having success against the young man who won the under-18 title here last Sunday, the AO Wildcard Playoff for 2012, live right here on tennis.com.au and on YouTube. Our final match today. We'll be here right throughout the course of the week to decide one male and one female player who get direct entry into the Australian Open. They have to go through qualifying in January. The AIS program, how's it all travelling?
We've had a really good year this year. Some of these younger boys have done extremely well. Luke making the final of the Aussie Juniors and winning Junior Wimbledon was pretty impressive. A couple of them picked up their first ranking points, and a couple of the boys who are a year or so older than Luke, Ben Mitchell and James Duckworth, have had fantastic years this year. Progressed their ranking from the sort of 700-ish to both around the 250 mark. And both of those guys are going to be in with a shot here at the World Cup playoff. You know, it's such a good opportunity to try to get yourself into the Australian Open and have a go on the next stage. So, yep, our program's had a really good year.
Yeah, I walked past Ben Mitchell here last Friday, and he has put on some size. It was very noticeable.
Yeah, it's that sort of age with these boys. They're sort of, you know, probably at the end of where they're growing, and they've both shot up. And James and Ben have done really well physically this year. They've been working with Ian Prangley, our physical trainer, and they've stayed fit and healthy all year, and looking to be, both of them, fit, strong boys, good athletes. James Duckworth actually plays the winner of this match here, tomorrow in the playoff. And Ben's actually playing the winner of I think the Barton Moore match, which is on this afternoon as well.
Yeah.
Both of these boys have another year in the juniors next year, hopefully challenging for Grand Slam titles again, both of them. It is a really good crop of younger boys we've got coming through. Hopefully a couple of them can make that transition into the top 100 and offer some support to the Davis Cup team next year or the year after.
Well, O'Connell's off to the perfect start here.
Yeah, he's picked up from where he left off last week.
He looks in good nick.
Yeah.
5 games to 1. And this opening set really upstaging Luke Saville at the moment. He's going to need to regroup unless he can fight his way back into this set.
It's almost 3 sets in a row now. Luke's lost. I think he's going to have to start to do something a little bit different from a tactical standpoint. Chris O'Connell looks a little bit stronger than him from the back of the court at the moment. Probably time for Luke to make some forward moves, I think.
Keep you updated on the other courts as well. And on court 7 into a third set over there, it looks like Emmeline Starr is starting to run away with that third set against Stephanie Bengtson of New South Wales. She leads her 4 games to 1, the 8th seed.
Great shot there from Luke.
Yeah, nice angle just in. So a chance here for Saville to hold. And he's able to do that, so Christopher O'Connell will have to come out and serve for the opening set. He's got a commanding lead 5 games to 2 as we have a change of ball boys and ball girls. Beautiful day in Melbourne. Of course, last night we had the Newcomb medal. That was a big night. Did you attend that, Brent?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was fantastic.
You would have been up on the dance floor with Guy Sebastian.
Had an early start this morning, so I missed the dancing.
Court 6, can we get the men's training?
They do it very well. I mean, the second Newcomb medal, it's obviously going to really grow in prestige, but some terrific speeches. Yelena Dokic, Leighton Hewitt, Sam Stozer, David Taylor, of course, been honoured for his coaching excellence.
I think in Australian tennis we had a very, very good year. It could have even been better when you look at the Davis and the Fed Cup. You know, the Davis Cup, I mean, Leighton played incredibly well and just didn't quite get across the line in that final rubber. But the Fed Cup, they had, I think, match points to go through to the next round. They had Barty and Saville both win Junior Wimbledon, and Bernard Tomic arriving in the top 50 in the world, as well as Matthew Ebden breaking into the top 100. I think Duckworth and Mitchell had fantastic years as well, progressing their ranking 500-600 places. Probably forgetting a few players as well, but overall I think if you look back at a year ago, I think Australian tennis would have taken that year. I forgot to mention Sam Stozer. What a year, win a Grand Slam.
Some great stories, and we hope it's going to continue bigger and better in 2012. And that man on screen, he's doing a mighty job at the moment. He's only 15 years of age, Chris O'Connell. We don't really worry about the ranking at this stage because he's got a long way to go. Semi-finalist, as we said recently, at the Optus Under-18 Australian Championships.
He had some good wins last week, and he lost a pretty hard-fought match against Andrew Whittington in the semi-finals there. Whit played some really good tennis in that match. I thought that was Andrew's best match of the week. And like I said, Chris was pretty impressive during the course of the week, and his performance against Luke last week was pretty good.
So I'm not sure if we have a delay here.
I think someone's called the trainer.
Okay.
Yeah.
We may have missed that.
I'm not sure who has.
So we'll wait for the trainer to come on. Not sure whether Luke or Chris has called for the trainer, but stand by it. So we're just bringing you up to date with
15. Outs. 15 love.
Yeah, it's amazing when it's at 1-7-3-3. It just seems such a big mountain to climb. I mean, you can, as you know, Ben Mitchell, as Brent said, has gone from the 700s down to about 200. I mean, you need to have some good, consistent results that can come down pretty quickly.
That's right. Can only take a handful of tournaments if you're getting a good run.
Nuts. 30 love.
That return, so both players certainly doing well on serve in this second set. And that is a great
15.
return.
Great shot.
Charlotte mentioned earlier when she was in here, I mean, there's nothing better than watching single-handed backhand.
It's a beautiful part of the game, that's for sure.
He does hit it very well. Very sweet off the racket.
Outs. 30 all.
Just not quite moving up to the ball quick enough, Saville there. Needs to get his feet moving. Perhaps change his tactics a little bit here.
So who do you like overall this week? I know it's early.
It is, yeah, it's tough to say.
What you've seen, I suppose, leading up, and that's come out of today as Saville serves out wide, he misses.
I think the two dark horses which Brent Larkin mentioned before, JP Smith definitely could do some damage. I think also Sam Groth, your man Sam Groth, he's looking pretty good and been some pretty rigorous training from what I've heard.
40-30.
Greg Jones, the top seed, though, he's been some pretty good form the last couple of months, and definitely an all-court game can do it all, Greg. So
yeah,
we expect to see a big showing from him this week.
Yep.
Outs. Deuce.
So Saville not able to put O'Connell away in this third game of the second set. He gets a look at a second serve here. O'Connell at deuce. And
Advantage, O'Connell.
at a very inappropriate time for Luke Saville. And a breakpoint opportunity here for Chris O'Connell in his second set. He's already set up. And Saville comes up with a
Great
great
play.
serve. He followed it in. Put the volley away beautifully.
Looks like that back might be troubling him a bit still. He's moving around a little bit gingerly here. And not quite getting over his serve. He seems to be hitting it pretty flat on his second serve.
Outs. Advantage, Saville.
So Saville gets it back on his terms with a chance here to hold serve.
Outs, game, Saville.
So Saville eventually holds. It was a battle.
Saville
in the
leads.
third game.
2 games to 1.
But he's got the edge. 2 games to 1. We might head out to Adrian Franklin in just a tick. He's standing by. Adrian, you've got some scores on those outside courts.
That's right, Brett. I'm out at court 5, where it's a battle of the New South Welshmen. We've got Matthew Barton up against Brendan Moore, and Barton's currently doing it very comfortably. He won the first set 6-4, and he's running away with it in this second one. 4 games to love at the moment. Looks very comfortable. I also checked out court 8 as well, where we have Alenka Hubacek against Arina Rodionova, and Rodionova's doing it pretty well over there too. She won the first set 6-2, and she's up 2 love in this second set.
All right, terrific. Thank you. And the other match we're keeping an eye on is Emmeline Starr, 6-5 out there on court 7. Third set she leads against Stephanie Bengtson of New South Wales. So potentially heading for a tiebreaker there. Of course, you can communicate with us. Hashtag AO Playoff on Twitter. We'll get to a few of the tweets very shortly. So O'Connell to serve. Trailing 1-2.
15 love.
Oh, nicely
shot.
done.
15 all.
Used every part of the court there, Luke Saville.
A few tweets coming in there, Brett.
Well, Sam Groth very happy to get through the first round of the AO playoff today. Yeah, Sam's busy on the tweets. Marshman Oz, good that Ashley Barty, of course, you can find Ashley on Twitter.
Outs.
Just along there from O'Connell, but you can find Ashley,
15,
of course,
30.
Ashbar96. Good that she won against Casey, gives her a good chance to win the AO playoff, and Casey has done enough to get in on the lead results. It's certainly been impressive. And Emma. Emma _ 2233. Loving being able to watch the AO playoff. Live coverage. A great way to spend the holidays. Well, Emma, great to have you on board. This is a holiday. Look at the crew. They've all got their feet up in the back of the box.
Pretty relaxed in here.
Oh, very relaxed. Air conditioner on.
Outs.
Oh, just long. A bit of pace on it, but
30, 40.
he's certainly not holding back, is he?
No, he isn't. He's serving really well. Break point opportunity though now for Saville. Really turn things around here.
Oh, just
Yeah.
wide. He had to
Saville.
scamper Saville.
Hustles the
Saville
break.
leads. 3 games to 1.
Yeah, he's got a nice little break now. So Luke Saville has had to work overtime in the last couple of games, but he gets it in his favour. So keep your tweets coming through. Hashtag AO Playoff. What else have we got here? Louis tennis. Good tennis from O'Connell over Saville so far, but both of them rushed too much between points.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that, Louis.
15 love.
Good to see Saville mixing it up again, serve volleying.
Now you know,
trying a few different things.
David, you know Luke very well. Louis Tennis has also said, you might want to answer this, Saville has a technical flaw on his forehand. But a very good backhand. Nice all-round game in O'Connell. A touch of Gaudio in the backhand.
He's got a beautiful backhand, O'Connell. Super impressed with that.
15 all.
So at Louis Tennis, of course, coming through on the tweets, we believe Louis, a tennis coach from Mossman in Sydney, so keeping a very close eye on the techniques. What about his forehand, Luke Saville? What do you make of it?
I think his backhand's probably always been his strength, a bit more reliable. His forehand does break down a little bit. Sometimes gets a little bit late. Reasonably high swing.
That's a great
30,
serve.
15.
Didn't even get a look at it all, O'Connell. He was heading to the ad court.
Oh. 40, 15.
Big on the Twitter, Brett.
Well, I wasn't, Dave. No, my account was actually set up 18 months ago by the great Charlotte James.
And you haven't touched it.
Well, I sent one tweet, but as it exploded in the last week.
40, 30.
And I'll tell you, I follow Venus and Serena Williams a lot, but I've got no idea what they're talking about. Their tweets, I've got no idea. I'm not sure. The
Fashion
girls,
often.
Well, they were in Milan last week playing an exhibition.
Game.
And that is a great serve from Saville down the tee. So
leads. 4 games to 1.
he's got this second set just where he wants it. Conceded the first to Chris O'Connell, but Luke Saville just starting to get into the groove. They're back. Of course, he had a medical timeout to have a little bit of work done. We thought it was just seizing up there a little bit. Geez, the last game and a half, he's got the job done. 4-1, commanding lead. Probably should go on now and win this second set.
Looking good, looking a lot more positive with his body language as well. And yeah, 4-1, looking good as Saville.
So keep your tweets coming through. Hashtag AO Playoff. Fairly warm day in Melbourne. Going to be a very warm week ahead. So come down and enjoy the sunshine if you're in the Melbourne vicinity from 10 o'clock each day. The finals, of course, right across the weekend, free of charge. You can see Melbourne Park. It's like the calm before the storm. There's all sorts of things going on in and around the tennis courts. Things been erected, of course, for the Australian Open, and it's a big operation. Everyone bunkers in a month or two before the Australian Open comes around. And a great opportunity to sit up close and watch some of the young players that are the future of Australian tennis.
If you had to give an early tip for the Open next year, Brett, who do you like?
Well, it's going to be good fields.
It's going to be huge.
Top 100 women, top 100 men. I mean, the women's are so open. Look, we'd love to see Sam, whether she's going to feel the pressure of being here in Melbourne with the crowd. Look, gee. Serena, we're unsure about, but Serena's had a great love affair with Melbourne Park. So, you know, you wouldn't put it beyond her. I think Venus is probably not going to win another Grand Slam.
Love, 15.
Hauled in beautifully.
Great shot.
Took it early and crunched it. You know, still the doubt on Wozniacki having a big enough game.
15 all.
I don't think Vera Zonarova can win, to be totally honest. I don't think she's probably got the game to win a Grand Slam. So
Go with that.
throw your hands up in the air as far as the girls are concerned, but it's whether anyone can break the big four in men's tennis. They've
That's
been
right.
so good for so long. The order might be changing, but there's still a gap. The lob is going to go long there off the O'Connell
15,
racket. So Luke Saville in a very good position here, as you can see the scoreboard. O'Connell winning the opening set, but Saville now starting to run away with this second set. Oh, and he stayed in the point for a while. Saville, O'Connell coming up with a good shot there.
Playing like he's got nothing to lose, O'Connell. Playing very loose and free. It's good to see.
Ow. 40-30.
Good point from Saville, just taking that forehand slightly early. Probably need to get down underneath the ball a little more. And that's possibly that technical flaw.
Yeah.
I think one of our tweets came in from that just doesn't get his racket underneath the ball sometimes early enough.
Just backing up the drink supply, are they? In the background. That is well played by O'Connell.
Saville leads 4-2.
So he's able to get one back, but some nice pace off his racket, as you've said, Dave. I mean, he's just playing very freely. You're going to make some errors, I suppose, when you play on that, but he's going for his shots.
Love, 15.
Had his feet down very early then, Saville. Didn't really move into position quick enough. Could have possibly taken that on the forehand as well. Had time, definitely mid-court ball.
Love, 30.
Not coming at a great time, the double fault.
Love, 40.
So Saville in trouble here on his serve.
Once again, his second serve let him down a little bit. I think that back could still be troubling him slightly. Struggling to get a bit of kick on it.
And O'Connell gets a break of serve, so interesting.
Saville leads
Couple of
4-3.
It looked like Luke Saville was going to run away with his second set, but O'Connell now to come out and serve to try and square it all up at 4 games apiece. Luke Saville still with the very now slight upper hand in this second set. Great to have you with us here on tennis.com.au. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you might be around Australia, around the world, following Australian tennis and the young players who this week have an opportunity to really shine. And the prize is certainly worth fighting for, a direct entry into the first Grand Slam of the year. And whether you win that first game, some very handy prize money.
Well, $20,000, I believe.
Just to put into the pocket to help with a few expenses as
Definitely.
these players make their way out onto the tough touring.
Great kick start to the year, that's for sure.
Very nice kickstart. And who will forget last year, the finals, of course, moved indoors. We saw with Marinko and Peter Luchak that five-setter on the Sunday. Marinko, of course, with the bye in the first round. He'll be in action tomorrow, as we said throughout the course of the day, taking on Sam Groth, which should be an absolute beauty. And we haven't got the schedule for tomorrow. We'll give that as soon as it comes to hand of the matches that we'll be broadcasting.
15 love.
So he's worked his way back in nicely here, O'Connell. It looks like that game's all over between Emmeline Starr and Dixon. The scoreboard's just gone off out there on court 7, so we'll bring you a result in just a tick on that one. O'Connell stepping up to the plate here.
Saville definitely doing all the running.
Yeah.
Connell just moving around, really working the point well.
That is a beautiful serve. So on the blink of an eye here, this match is set to be all squared up in the second set.
Let's. First up. Game.
And he comes up with a gem. What a beautiful service game to watch, and Christopher O'Connell has got it back to 4 games all in this second set. Luke Saville only moments ago leading 4 games to 1.
O'Connell definitely looking the better player at this stage. Turn things around. Serve's working really well for him, looking very free and relaxed on his groundies. Yeah, Luke's going to have to find something here.
Certainly his return to serve is very good. Out on court 8, Alina Orodyanova leading comfortably against Alenka Hubacek, 6-2 love. And Matthew Barton doing a comfortably 6-4 love at last check against Brendan Moore from New South Wales.
Love.
Big hitting from Saville.
Yeah.
Working that forehand. Needs to stay positive here.
Outs. 40 love.
He certainly went for it. Would have been almost the shot of the day, but had to come off. And Saville plays it beautifully.
Saville leads.
Good service
5
game. He
games to
keeps
4.
his nose in front in this second set, 5 games to 4. He lost the opening set to Christopher O'Connell. So O'Connell to come out and try and square it up again. So really interesting second set here. He's done well, Chris, to fight back.
There's some good tennis from both players, have to say. O'Connell just very loose on the ground strokes. Saville been a little bit up and down. His forehands let him down a little bit. Hit a few balls long. Just needs to get a bit more shape over some of them, especially moving forward, I think. Moving up the court, he's made a few errors. Backhand looking really strong. But it looks like Saville has a bit more to give, I think, whereas O'Connell's probably playing as good as he can right now, but he's playing some fantastic tennis.
Time.
So as you can see, a beautiful day here in Melbourne for the AO Wildcard Playoff. It starts the summer of tennis. Newcombe medal last night. We've got Brisbane coming up. Sydney, Hobart, of course, as part of the AO series. And then the Australian Open here from Melbourne Park. So we're all bunkered down. We'll all just say goodbye to the wives and the girlfriends, the sisters. We'll see you in February.
15 love.
So far out. So far out.
You look Saville there, of course. The chair umpire has got to call these, like the old days.
Pulling off that
30
one
love.
very early, Saville. Once again, putting his feet down, position a little bit too early. Planting his feet a bit early, needs to keep them moving.
That is a great return from Luke
30,
Saville.
15.
Right over the top of that ball. He certainly has got a bit more to give. He's double folded O'Connell.
30 all.
Inappropriate times. So
Big moment
Yeah.
right there.
little door just opens up here.
30, 40.
Couldn't get the elevation there with the backhand. So
Set
chance
point.
here for a set point to square it all up and take this to a third set. Should be the pace on that serve. Oh, it's in.
Game, second set. Saville.
Luke Saville comes up with a cracking return.
6
We're
games to 4.
Going to a third
One
set
settle.
here in this opening match. Men's knockout in Canada between Luke Saville of South Australia and Chris O'Connell from New South Wales. And Luke Saville, you said it, he's got a bit more to give. He's come up with 2 cracking winners in that game.
2 massive points from 30 all. That double fault from O'Connell, 30-15, did prove decisive, and Saville just really stepped it up. Took that return from a couple of metres inside the baseline there.
Yeah, great return. So we are heading for a third set. You can keep your tweets coming in, hashtag AO Playoff. Keep those coming through. We'll read those throughout the course of the afternoon. We're going to check in with Adrian Franklin very shortly as well as he updates some of the news around the courts. All right, let's head out to Adrian Franklin on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. What's happening out on the outside courts, Adrian?
2 matches have just finished off, Brett. One on court 5. Matthew Barton beat Brendan Moore pretty comfortably in the end, 6-4, 6-1. And out on court 8, we had Arina Rodionova, who overcame Alenka Hubacek again. It was a very solid victory. She won 6-2, 6-love.
Thank you, Adrian. They are the latest scores coming through. So Isabella
Time.
Holland and Olivia Rogoska, the 2 standout seeds to still hit court 7. In fact, looks like that match between Holland and Rachel Tradera Queensland is just underway. Game apiece in the opening
Final
set.
set. Saville to serve.
So here we go. Let's see if Luke Saville can come back from a set down.
angle
15.
from O'Connell.
Superb. Bit of a strut about this young man. He can play.
Only 15. Very impressive.
Keep your tweets coming through. They are coming through thick and fast.
Love 30.
I think that might be a fault. Call. Gillian Tan AU, happy my pal at Sally Piers 3. That's where you can tweet Sally. Has got a win in the first round of her round robin. She certainly is impressive. Plenty of support for Arina Rodionova, as we just heard, has won in straight sets.
Outs. 15, 30.
Big miss from O'Connell. Short ball would have been love 40. Saville pretty stretched on that wide backhand then. Kind of threw in just a half-hearted drop shot almost. It's almost like the point was done. But big miss. Always crucial start. First game of each set. Get off to a good start here.
All.
Be interested to see what Saville's points won at net percentage would be every time he's come in, especially the second set.
Yep.
He's probably won 80 to 90 points he's come in on. Definitely been a good tactic for him.
Outs. 40, 30.
Great serve out wide by Saville, so chance here to hold and get away to a good start in this third set.
Let. Second serve. Outs.
And
Game.
it goes
Saville.
long, and Saville,
First game, final sets.
as the chair umpire confirms, able to hold. 1 game to love. He's trying to come back from a set down, able to close out the second set, and he started the third set in good fashion here. And a real battle against Chris O'Connell, who's, well, very early in both their careers becoming a bit of an arch rival.
Yeah, we could be seeing the start of it here, Brett. That short forehand he missed at love 30, proving decisive for O'Connell. It would have been love 40, 3 break points. And Saville managed to get out of that game.
Just confirming that match out on court 7 previously. Emmeline Starr, the 8th seed, getting through, well, winning her first match in the round robin format.
Outs. 15 love.
7-5 there in the third over Bingston of New South Wales. Great shot.
Great shot.
15 all. Outs.
Just wide.
30, 15.
Myers working the angles. Oh, there's one. Get underneath that, somebody. Oh, the bloke, he could have
Had
Had plenty of time.
Oh, young man, you could have taken one of the greatest catches of all time. He was just kicking back there in the stands, so that didn't come off the best part of the racket for Chris O'Connell.
Saville loves stepping in, nailing some returns. Definitely one of his strengths, I think.
Yep.
Outs.
Oh, just
40,
long.
30.
Kept himself in the point there, Saville.
Game, O'Connell. 1 game all.
So O'Connell gets it to 1 game all. Going to be a tight battle, one feels, in this third set.
We're playing advantage. Are we in the third set here, or are we playing tie-break, Brett?
That is a great question.
That's a great question.
And I don't know the
I think it's
answer.
just advantage in the final.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tie-break.
Yeah,
for the third
confirmation. The production development team all in agreement. A few weary eyes now after a big campaign at the Newcomb. Oh, and he went for the drop shot. A great rally.
Great point.
Somehow O'Connell stayed in that
15
point.
love.
Well, Saville should have put a couple of those away at the net.
3 smashes in a row. Couldn't quite put away. Did you make it to the Newcomb medal last night, Brett?
Yes, we were doing the live stream last night, so
Oh, very good.
just a couple of waters. Well, a
Yep.
couple of wines a bit later.
Wine spritzers or something like that.
The man with the orange glasses sitting next to me, John O'Harrison,
He hasn't taken those glasses off all day, has he?
just feeding me stories of his life's journey so far. It was good. It was riveting. And he pulls that wide.
30 love.
No, terrific night. Look, if you're a late starter to our coverage today, the Newcomb medal last night, superb. Well done by Tennis Australia. It's going to become an annual part of the calendar. Sam going back to back, all the tennis family coming together. Great recognition for the tennis communities and clubs right around the country, the volunteers. Keynote speeches from Leighton Hewitt, of course, winning the Spirit of Tennis Award, spoke beautifully, and Alan Jones, who talked about his great passion for his country and for tennis.
Outs.
Just long there from O'Connell.
What's he
Jelena
love?
Dokic was the surprise, jumped up on stage and I thought gave a terrific speech, just thanking all those that have supported her through the ups and downs and the roller coaster ride that she's had. And she spoke very elegantly.
She's come out and said she wants to play for another 5 years on tour.
Well, I mean, look, I think she's capable. She's still one of the best ball
27, 28
strikers.
at the moment.
Just needs to keep that body intact and have no ailments, which is tough. Well played
Game, Saville.
by Saville. It's a very comfortable game in the
Saville
end.
leads. 2 games to 1.
2-1. He's got his nose in front in this third and deciding set. John Newcomb, of course, the middle named after Newk, always speaks with great passion.
Just on Leighton, how many more years do you reckon he'll be around for? Another solid year in him?
It's really hard to say. I mean, the great part about tennis or any individual sport is you get to have your own say on when you exit. So, you can't be pushed out. You can play as long as you possibly want. Now, his ranking's down at 188. I wouldn't think he'd want to see that blow out and blow out and blow out if he can't get on court. So, We can only hope that he just stays injury-free, because if he's injury-free, there's no doubt he can still win probably some of those 250 events around the world. He can still maybe, with a good lead-in, have a crack at the Grand Slams. I mean, Wimbledon's the one where he often fancies himself to go fairly deep into the draw.
I think you consistently be a top 50 player, and you're right, and attack those 250 tournaments and possibly a Wimbledon, or, I mean, Davis Cup. He has such great passion for Davis Cup still, so definitely a main player there for the Australian team. It'd be great to see him have a real crack at it next year, injury-free year.
And I'm sure that that's a good serve there from O'Connell. I'm sure he'd like to assist the younger brigade now coming through, try and get Australia back into the world group. If he could do that, it would give him a lot of satisfaction.
Love.
Cross-court backhand doing some damage again for O'Connell.
So a little bit of breeze picking up at court level.
Love.
Slow the racket head speed down dramatically there, Saville. Not quite sure what he was thinking.
Oh, he cracked that, but it was
50.
wide. He does give it a big wind-up, Chris O'Connell. And he's able to hold serve fairly comfortably. We're at 2 games apiece. The arm wrestle continues in this third set. Our final match for broadcast, taking you through the matches that we have covered so far today. It was JP Smith 6-1, 6-3 over Maverick Baines, a fellow Queenslander. Sam Groth had a good day at the office, 6-4, 6-1, as he, of course, makes his comeback to professional tennis, defeating fellow Victorian John Peers. Ashley Barty, probably the story of the day so far, 6-3, 6-3, the young 15-year-old and Wimbledon junior champion this year from Queensland, defeating Casey Delacqua. The first time she has been beaten in 31 matches.
Out.
So great effort by Ashley, 6-3, 6-3. But unlike the men, which is a straight knockout, the girls get a chance, if you do lose today, to come back and make amends tomorrow. Although don't win that opening game, it's hard to position yourself really well in your group, but we'll wait and see what unfolds.
It's going to be hard for Casey now to get through in her group. There's only one per group go through, I think, in the women's draw, so looking forward to lose any matches.
40 love.
So like O'Connell, Saville racing through his service game here.
Great backhand for O'Connell. Didn't quite do enough with the volley, Saville, just up the middle of the court. Jeez, he wound that up and hits it very clean on that backhand side, O'Connell.
Yeah, good to watch.
.40, 30.
Was the error there, so still Saville here with a game point.
Same form that's been troubling me a little bit, moving out to the right, trying to go up the line. Doesn't quite get underneath. Hits it form with quite a straight arm. Just needs to get underneath the ball a bit more, get a bit more shape on it.
And eventually Saville holds, so
Saville leads 3 games to 2.
He keeps his nose in front in this third set. 3-2. As we race through the matches on the opening day, now still to hit the court out on court 7 is the number 2 girls seed in Olivia Rogowska. I can give you an update out there on court number 7. Isabella Holland of Queensland currently leading 3 games to 2 against Rachel Tredear of Queensland. So 3-2. We're going to head back to Adrian Franklin very shortly. I believe Peter Mercado's made his way out there as well, so we'll get to the boys in just a tick here on the grounds of Melbourne Park. The final match on court 8, Belinda Woolcock, Daniela Jeffley from New South Wales. That is still to come a little bit later on. Okay, let's head to Pete and Adrian. They're out and about. What do you got there, boys?
Well, we've been having a bit of a chat out here, getting a bit of a suntan, which is lovely, but we are also here to talk about something important. Margaret Court Arena. There's going to be a big redevelopment here at Melbourne Park over the next few years, ending in 2018. One initiative, I think it was number 3, project number 3. There's going to be a 3rd roof here at Melbourne Park on Margaret Court Arena, the only Grand Slam venue to have that around the world. Yeah. So, Pete, what else is going to be happening
Absolutely. More seats at this venue too. They've been building out the other side as well. It'll be great. Hopefully, at some stage this week, we'll have the chance to head out there and see how those developments are going. Obviously, a new media centre that's going to go in, entertainment precinct just across from where we are now. It's just continuing to build. 2018 is when all the development should be finished. So you'll see this complex transform over the next couple of years, and it's already started.
And it's funded by the state government as well, which is a really exceptional thing that they're doing. I think the capacity here at the Australian Open, as we've seen over the years, has become basically exhausted. It's just such a popular event, so we need to increase the size. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Pete. It's going to be spectacular, no doubt. It's going on around us as we are here for the AO Wildcard playoff this week. Of course, all been done in stages, right through to about 2015. $363 million.
Money well spent.
Absolutely. That can be a great sight. Oh, that's landed in. Just pick that up. And
the first time he's done it as well.
So, this has been the theme in this 3rd set. Both guys fairly comfortable on serve.
Love.
So 3 game points here for Chris O'Connell to square it all up. It can't get any tighter than what we've got right now. 1 will go through, 1 won't. And it's a great serve.
Game. O'Connell.
3 games apiece, and the chair and pole confirm it.
3 games all.
Right now, thank you. On cue. He's doing a beautiful job.
Who do you like from here, Brett?
It's hard to call. Look, Saville, you would think his experience and just probably playing on a bigger stage more often than Chris might just get him through, but the way he's striking the ball, Chris O'Connell, he's just dangerous. I'll lean to Saville, but who knows?
15 love.
Nice little put away there. Yourself? Saville? For you?
Saville? Yep, Saville for me.
Oh. Reminded me of myself. Yeah, it's a great shot.
Love.
I think you're right. He's played too many bigger matches than O'Connell this year, and over the last couple of years to get him through, I think. This is a big moment for O'Connell. Only 15, up against the number 1 Australian junior.
Love.
And don't forget, of course, coming up this Saturday, the Battle of the Codes. It's going to be fantastic out here at the playoff between 1 and 3 p.m. We've got NRL, soccer, AFL, rugby union, basketball, all covered. I know Liz Cambage is coming down. I'll just try and get a list of the other entrants.
She's about 6'8", isn't she?
Outs.
Maybe taller than that.
Just
40,
long.
15.
I'm not sure how Liz is going to go around, but if John Isner can play,
Yeah.
great said John Isner versus Liz Cambage.
Might be serving down bombs.
She does like to go for a gallop on the basketball court, Liz. And puts that away comfortably.
Saville.
Does
Your
Luke
balls,
Saville.
please.
He leads it here, 4-3.
Saville
A terrific
leads.
match.
4-3.
To end the day.
First serve percentage is picked up for Saville in this third set. He's got a lot of short balls from it, been able to move in off them.
Yeah, the Battle of the Codes on the weekend. David Zaharakis is going to be here, the Essendon Best and Fairest winner this year. And good Nick Zaka for a repeat season. Bryce Gibbs from Carlton also going to be along in the Battle of the Codes. That's from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock. Free entry here at Melbourne Park. If you can't get down here during the week, certainly the weekend when the finals are on, we expect some terrific crowds. So,
And you'll be competing as well, Brett? We're going to get you out there?
I wouldn't mind actually. I took on Air Minter out on that far court. What's that number court out the back there? 9. Court 9.
Court 9. Put you out the back, just away from everyone.
Yeah, I think Air Minter might have eased up a little bit on her forehand.
Time.
So let's see what answer O'Connell's got here. Or can Luke Saville get a break? Serve.
15 love.
Bit of kick in that from O'Connell. Sterling Mortlock.
30 love.
Or is that his brother Simon? Sure. It's all right, Jono's had a big day. We've had a big night. Oh, great
40
serve.
love.
Down the tee from O'Connell. Big Will Minson. Geez, lucky to be still with the Bulldogs. Will Minson.
Yeah,
That's another great serve. So this young man just keeps coming up with the replies. He's answering the challenge.
Serving huge. Both players very dominant on their serve this third set.
And you said to Luke Saville, I'm not going away. Damien Fleming will be along for the Battle of the Codes. David Hussey, prolific run scorer for Victoria this season. He'll be along as well. So that's from between 1 and 3. Battle of the Codes coming up Saturday here at the Wildcard Playoff.
Love, 15.
Once again, not quite getting enough work over the ball. There's a little bit more spin on that second serve. Perhaps a bit more kick.
Outs, 15 all.
It's a huge game right here. It was a good serve.
30, 15.
He was in position, O'Connell, just couldn't get the elevation.
Forty, 15.
Massive serve from Saville. We need the speed gun out here.
We do. Well, I'll tell you what, every game we've watched today, JP Smith, Sam Groth, and these two boys certainly got some pace on their serves.
Game.
Comes
Saville.
up with a great forehand, so Saville.
Saville leads 5-4.
Is maybe a game away, but he needs to get the break, and that's not easy because Chris O'Connell has served very comfortably in this third and deciding set, so we possibly might be here for a little while yet. Out on court 7, I can tell you 3 games all. Opening set between Isabella Holland and fellow Queenslander Rachel Trudeau. Holland is the third seed, so we'll keep a very close eye on that game. Belinda Wilcock and Daniela Jeffley would have just about taken to court 8, I reckon, with Arina Rodionova comfortably beating Hubacek 6-2, 6-love, so we'll keep an eye on that one. We've still got Rogovska and Hadjic of Victoria to come. Now that's going to be moved, I'm told, to court 5, okay. Because Matthew Barton has completed his victory there, 6-4, 6-1 over Brendan Moore in the battle of the New South Welshmen. So only 2 or 3 matches to complete on this opening day. 5-4, Saville leads it. That is a great rally. Both players giving it everything.
Love, 15.
Huge point. Saville stepping it up. Crucial first point.
He was on the defensive there, O'Connell. He kept himself alive. He opened up on that single-handed backhand, but Saville was right there with the volley. Gets a look at a second serve here, Luke.
Love 30.
Goes long, so the door really opens up now at love 30.
He's definitely stepped it up these first 2 points here. Pressure's on O'Connell. Love 30.
Oh, and O'Connell misses the smash.
Love, 40.
So 3 match points coming up here for Luke Saville. He's had to work hard today, losing the opening set, and now right on the verge of victory. O'Connell swung hard, but he's gone long. And that one goes into the crowd, and Luke Saville
6-4, 6-4.
makes his way through to the second round of the AO Wildcard Playoff for 2012. He had to work overtime. And Chris O'Connell, as the two players exchange handshakes, he can be pretty happy with his effort here today. He's, of course, beaten Saville in the past. He won the opening set. He hasn't been able to come out victorious, but there's a lot of promise in that young man.
Absolutely. Should hold his head up pretty high there, Chris. He played an amazing game. It was awesome tennis. And Saville just stepped up at the right time. The third set, no one could get near each other's serve. And Saville in the third set, that decisive 5-4 game then, just really played some key points, and that was the difference, really.
All right, so Luke Saville is through to the next stage, and he will take on James Duckworth, who had a bye in the first round, the 5th seed. So well done to Luke Saville. We know he's going to be a fine player. He's still only 17 years of age, and he is standing by. He's down on court right now with our very own Adrian Franklin.
Luke, well done, mate. Great match. It was 3-set, a really tough one out there, right?
Yeah, it was. Chris came out playing really well, and I had to really dig deep today. It wasn't easy. Fairly tough conditions again, and I'm thrilled to come out with a win. He was playing well early, and I, served pretty well when it mattered, and broke him in the last game, and that was the first break for the whole third set. So it's a pretty timely break, and thrilled to be in the second round.
He had some big weapons, especially off the forehand. How did you sort of try and nullify that?
Well, I played him last week, and he beat me 6-2, 6-2, and hit a lot of forehand winners. Knew I had to come out and play really aggressive, try and get into his backhand as much as possible today. And after the first set, I started to exploit that a little bit more, and came out and played very tactically pretty well, and I'm happy to be through.
Obviously a huge result throughout the year at Wimbledon. Yeah. I mean, that sort of experience that you've got there, does that enable you to come out here with more confidence? How has it sort of changed the way you go about it?
Yeah, it has. I can be a little more confident in myself. That I proved a lot of things to myself there. I played probably the biggest stage I've ever played on at Wimbledon, and biggest tournament as well. So I learned a lot from that, but also you can make you the hunted now. I'm out here playing Chris. We're both the same age group, and he's probably out here trying to beat me pretty bad, because I've had a good year, and it'll be a great result for him to beat me. But I just got to keep on going well, keep fighting hard, and keep on trying to improve my game. And I guess Federer and Nadal feel that pressure day in, day out. So I want to be a good player, and I've got to get used to that.
Last one, I spoke to Sam Groth earlier today. The way he celebrated was by launching one of the tennis balls straight out that way. Yeah. Have you got any sort of celebrations? Is there anything we can look forward to deeper into this week? What do you got?
No, I don't think about it. I don't like launching balls too much.
So you can't make any promises to us? You can't launch one in show court 3?
Maybe not. But I just probably pump the fist, a bit more quiet than probably Groth is.
Thanks for your time,
Cheers.
mate. Good luck.
No worries, Adrian. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Adrian. Nice work down there. A great chat with Luke Saville. A great insight at the AO Wildcard Playoff with these extended chats. We get to know a bit more about the players as Luke makes his way over and has a chat to Ben Mitchell, who had, of course, a bye in the opening round. He'll be in action tomorrow, just going out for a practice hit as Peter Mercado rejoins me. Good day's tennis.
It's been a great day's tennis. It's been fantastic play. A few surprises in there. I think the women's match that we saw today was a little bit of a surprise, with Ash Barty so convincing against Casey Delacroix. But the men's match is pretty much going according to script. But as you've been talking about, Chris O'Connell, an amazing performance by him to take that first set. And he was up to his neck in it in the second before just falling away. But that's the class of Luke Saville. And he'll be well pleased with his efforts to be able to get through in a tough match first up. But it continues to get tougher from here.
It certainly does, and as we mentioned, Luke to play James Duckworth next, who is ranked at 269 from New South Wales coming into this tournament. So still to be played today. We've got Olivia Rogoska, who will hit court 7. If you want to get down to Melbourne Park, maybe coming from work, Olivia still to get out there, because that match in progress has seen Isabella Holland almost take the opening set 5-3 against Rachel Tradera, Queensland.
And that Rogoska score for love.
Okay, it has started. Yes,
Olivia leading moved there.
Yep.
And I can tell you the other score, Holland's, 5-3 is that score. That hasn't changed. So
okay.
Plenty to look forward to tomorrow. We're trying to work out the schedule. It's being done as we speak, but keep an eye on tennis.com.au for all the latest news and the full schedule of play once the matches are completed. But some key matchups tomorrow, some possibles that we might have. Chris Guccione, JP Smith. Look forward to that. JP was particularly impressive today.
Battle of the lefties. That will be, they'll be cranking it up tomorrow. Some big first serves.
Well,
and speaking of
exactly
first
the
serves,
one underneath, that's pretty much the same, really. Sam Groth and Mariko Batozovic.
Yeah, that's mouth-watering. Saville and Duckworth. Casey Delacroix, she's got to bounce back tomorrow.
Yes.
Against Emmeline Starr, who came from a set down, the 8th seed. And Ash Barty, boy, oh boy, that was impressive. Takes on Stephanie Bengtson, who did go down to Emmeline Starr a little bit earlier. Thanks, PM.
Thank you, Brett. It's been a great day of tennis. Look forward to doing it all again tomorrow.
Great day's tennis. Thank you to all the crew behind the scenes who help us put together the wildcard playoff for 2012. We'll be back from 9:45 Australian Eastern Daylight Summertime tomorrow from Melbourne Park, day 2.